Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Imran Syahmi bin Abdul Malek, and today I'll be presenting the mini project for the Mentee program as part of the coaching and mentoring initiative under MARA. For this purpose, I've decided to create an audiovisual aid, also known as AVA, or Bahan Bantu Mengajar BBM, which is called Phonetic Cards. This is the content of my presentation today. To start, pronunciation has never received a true focus in the teaching of English within the Malaysian education system. In fact, looking at the Standardized Document of Curriculum and Assessment, also known as the SKP, for the English language subject, there is only one mention of pronunciation throughout the entire document, be it for the upper or lower form. Papers like Nur Bazila and Noor 2020, Tan and Chi 2021, and Hari 2023 highlighted how schools often prioritize other language skills that are only crucial for exams like reading and writing. Hence, the creation of this AVA is to give more focus on the teaching and learning of pronunciation for a more holistic mastery of English in schools. The problems that are being addressed in this project can roughly be divided into 1. Students often mispronounce while speaking. 2. Confusing English language spelling that doesn't reflect its pronunciation. And 3. The lack of effective pronunciation materials, which leads to the abandonment of teaching pronunciation in general. To tackle the aforementioned problems, these are the objectives that are trying to be achieved through this project. To minimize pronunciation mistakes made by students when speaking English, to clarify the disconnect between spelling and sounds of English vocabulary using phonetic scripts, and to serve as a dedicated material in teaching pronunciation so that students can have a model to guide them in speaking properly, as well as commit to practicing pronunciation in classroom lessons. Now, let's take a look at the product. This is a set of flashcards that display how words are pronounced using phonetic script. It comes in a form of a chart that was adapted from the design by Adrian Underhill in 2008. The product includes words with alphabetical and phonetical spelling, as well as color-coded and arranged similarly to the periodic table of elements, which MRSM students should be familiar with, seeing that it is a STEM-focused school. This is the design prototype of the product, which consists of small individual cards that can be combined into a whole table as shown here. The significance of this project lies primarily in the importance of pronunciation in achieving communicative competence, where students must know more than just grammatical rules in making correct sentences, which includes pronunciation and when and where to use which words appropriately, which will result in a greater mastery over the language. Not to mention, frequent mispronunciations may demotivate students from speaking or using the language routinely, in fear of being insulted by peers or even fear of being corrected by teachers. That is why this product was developed with the self-determination theory in mind, inspired by the study of Tan and Chi 2021, where they implemented QR codes as part of teaching pronunciation to raise students' interest and build their speaking confidence step by little step. Another thing worth mentioning is the literature review from Himayati and Trioko 2024, where they conclude that incorporating phonetics in teaching pronunciation may result in an effective development of ESL learners' speaking skills. Should this project find success and positive feedback, here are some suggestions of improvement that can be done in the future. First, conduct a pilot study on the use of this AVA on MRSM students by using controlled and experimental groups to measure its effectiveness in teaching pronunciation. Next, survey the practicality of implementing this AVA in teaching pronunciation, because feedback from both students and teachers would be most valuable in perfecting this AVA for classroom usage. And last but not least, improving the design by adding new features like including buttons that can be pressed for sample audio would be most beneficial in encouraging autonomous learning of pronunciation among students. In a nutshell, I believe that the use of the phonetic cards and phonemic chart in teaching pronunciation in classrooms can result in students becoming more confident in using the language, or at the very least, to stop them from hesitating when it comes to speaking in the target language. And that concludes my presentation for the Mentee Mini project. Thank you for listening and have a great day.